They took away our money. So they came up with an agency called Employee Retirement Income Security Act, called ERISA, in 1970s. What that did, once the government got into it, all the private companies said, we're going to go to 401k. We don't want to be in the pension space. Federal government is going to make us do things. But when the federal agencies as well as the municipalities started going union, so the ERISA is now after municipalities. Hey, you got to pay them. But you know, the biggest culprit in this whole arena is that the state and the municipalities actually take the union dues from your salary and send it to these unions. What some of these politicians now want to do is, hey, we give you the salary. You want to join the union, it's up to you. Yeah. And it's a known fact that once people get the money, they don't want to part with it. Unions will be gone. And unions know that, and it is in their best interest to sit there and fight.
But it's sad because there's so many unkept promises. Yeah. And all these people, like you said, who were like, okay, I won't take a raise, but I've got that pension. I've got something waiting for me when I'm ready to retire. And all of that is in question.
You look at some of the states that have maximum unfunded liability. For instance, the state of Illinois, which I was kind of surprised, has $62.4 billion underfunded. Close here in Maryland is $18.4 billion. You go to the cities like Oakland, 70% deficit. Phoenix, 70%. Jacksonville, 63%. Boston, Seattle, all of these cities just don't have enough money to fund the pensions. So it's a real big mess. I don't know how it's going to be resolved, but at the same time, folks, if you're working for even the government, you know, choose to have a 401k. You really don't know where this pension business is going.
Moving on to a story in education. I was really interested to see that there's a debate going on across the country about Algebra 2. Okay, so some schools require it, some schools don't. And apparently, Algebra 2 has been proven through a series of research to be a great indicator for success in college and in the workforce. That there's a lot of critical thinking skills and things you learn in Algebra 2 that really are indicators of success. There's a group called Achieve, which is made up of governors and business leaders, and they're funded by corporations and their foundations to improve skills for the workforce. I think there are a lot of people across the country who recognize that our workforce is not as competitive as it could be, and they're looking for ways to improve it. One way is by saying, let's require Algebra 2 in our high schools. Now, you would think, wouldn't everybody think this is a wonderful idea and be on board and say, yes, let's increase the standards? Not really, you know, and I was surprised to see that there are actually some folks who are concerned that the standard is maybe too high, that, you know, kids will drop out of school and not really feel encouraged or motivated to take a subject where they don't see any practical relevance in their lives.
When I was going to school, algebra was fun.
Yeah.
Because you can get 100 out of 100. There was no narrative.
Right, right. And the thing is, like, you know, there are about 20 states and the District of Columbia that are now requiring Algebra 2. Maryland and Virginia are not, by the way. No state has pushed Algebra 2 more than Arkansas. Very interesting, because Arkansas usually falls pretty low on a lot of the national test scores when it comes to achievement and math. But they're really trying to improve that, and one way is by requiring Algebra 2. Some people are concerned that this gets into a one-size-fits-all kind of requirement when there are some students who won't excel in this and maybe won't finish school because of it and will maybe even quit. But I was really inspired by this particular quote at the end of the article. Okay, everybody else in the world believes it takes effort when it comes to math. Fair enough, right? But in America, we seem to believe there is a math gene, and if there's no gene, forget it. Math is challenging, but we have to work at it. And the point is that this mentality that we have in this country is that I'm bad at math, and I believe that makes it impossible for you to be successful, right? No, it takes a lot of work, and you could be good at math, but we sort of convince ourselves that it's not possible, that just, I was born this way, that math is so difficult for me. You know what I mean?
That's precisely, I rail and rant about when people say we don't have enough technology workers in the United States of America. I just don't believe that. You know, I mean,
Right.
you can take almost any kid from Arkansas and teach him something which is repetitious. I mean, it's not that difficult to learn, but you're right. We told ourselves it's not in our DNA. No brainers, not in our DNA.
So, I mean, maybe the higher standards will make a difference. We'll have to see if this really works in those 20 states and on the district as well, to put in the higher standards and see if that will result in the better skilled workers.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you hold your hand up here and you ask a child to reach up to it, and he reaches up to it, and you hold it higher and higher, and you build capacity. You know, that's how you do it. Something came in the mail. I was really intrigued by it. Folks, you know, you go to FedEx or you go to Verizon Arena and you go see and sit in that suites. And most of the companies, they want to buy a whole suite for their clients or for their employees. Well, the same thing that theaters want to bring it. Now, they have suites where only 4 people can sit. So what have they done to get some kind of money? You know, I mean, to make sure you sell your theater at least half, pre-sell your theater at least half. So what they have done is they now sell you 4 seats in a suite with 2 parking places. If you want, you can go in there for 125 performances for your clients and for your employees, $35,000 a year. It goes as low as $2,000 for a 12-show package. I mean, these theaters are now figured it out, and they want to go after it. I have heard that the universities, you know, they want to sell the arena seats to their alums. You know, hey, alums, you can come and watch this, and they want to give you prime seats. They want to charge you some money because you're making money. So, yeah, you will go.
Well, you know, what works in sports might just work in theater. Who knows?
That's right. So I feel that this is a very innovative approach, and I like that.
We all know that social media is the rave. All across the world, we're seeing revolutions being facilitated by social media. And there's, as much as there is excitement about the use of cell phone and internet technology, there should also be some caution in using these technologies. And a lot of people are not really aware of the risks involved, even in these great freedom-fighting revolutionary activities. The same tools can be used for spying that are used for communicating.
Yes.
Right? You don't know who's tracking you, who's following you, and what will be done with this information that you're sending out all the time. So there is a group called Access, which has created a guide to maintaining online and mobile phone security. And they have versions in both Arabic and in English. The point is that there are a lot of users of this technology who really aren't aware of the implications. And so what Access is trying to do is educate people about